Commission Rule 58A 0104C requires real estate brokers to provide and review the Working with Real Estate Agents disclosure form with the prospective buyer or seller at first substantial contact in a real estate sales transaction. Brokers are also required to educate the consumer on the types of agency relationships that may be offered by their brokerage, and to instruct the consumer not to share confidential information before an agency relationship is established. In this video, we will discuss this and other required disclosures and agency agreements. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission website has 3 consumer disclosure forms under the Publications tab. They are the Mineral, Oil, and Gas Rights Disclosure Form, or MOG, the Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure Statement, known as RPODS, and the Working with Real Estate Agents Disclosure Form, WWREA. As previously mentioned, in North Carolina, real estate brokers are required by commission rule to provide and review the WWREA disclosure form in sales transactions with consumers at first substantial contact. This means the time the conversation moves from facts about the property to personal or confidential information about the consumer. This disclosure form is not a contract. The agent must provide and review the form with the consumer, disclosing the types of agency their brokerage offers, and provide a copy to the consumer once they have signed it. This disclosure is also important to help the consumer understand the importance of not sharing any confidential information with a real estate broker until they have hired them with a written agreement. Otherwise, the broker can share the consumer's confidential information with others. The next disclosure form, the Mineral and Oil and Gas Rights Mandatory Disclosure Statement, or MOG, is required to be provided by the owner selling or transferring the property in certain residential real estate transactions, like single-family homes, individual condominiums, townhouses, etc. Failure to provide this completed form could result in the buyer's right to terminate the contract without penalty. Similarly, the final disclosure form, the Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure Statement, or RPODS, is required to be provided by the owner selling or transferring the property in certain residential real estate transactions, like the resale of single-family homes, individual condominiums, townhouses, etc. There are several exemptions listed in General Statute 47E2. Failure to provide this completed form could result in the buyer's right to terminate the contract without penalty. In North Carolina, an agency agreement must be in writing, identify and be signed by all parties, include the broker's license number, contain fair housing non-discrimination language as stated in Rule 58A, 0104B, and specify a definite automatic termination date. The one exception to the automatic termination date is a property management agreement, which may contain a provision to allow for automatic renewal of the agency agreement. All agency agreements must be expressed from the beginning before any brokerage services can be provided. An express agreement means that the agreement, even if oral, includes all of the contractual terms between the parties. Per Commission Rule 58A0104, brokers may not provide any sales, leasing, or management services for any property owner without having a written agency agreement from the onset of the brokerage relationship. Buyers and tenants are permitted to begin an agency relationship with a broker under an oral agency agreement. However, the agency agreement must be reduced to writing and signed no later than the time one of the parties makes an offer to purchase, sell, rent, lease, or exchange real estate to another. Oral agency agreements, if permitted by the brokerage, must be express and permit the buyer and/or tenant to work with other agents for an undetermined time period. It cannot be exclusive or obligate a buyer or tenant to work only with that brokerage for any specified period of time. If an agreement requires exclusivity or a specific time period, it must immediately be reduced to writing and signed by all parties. Agency relationships may be challenging to understand, so consumers may refer to the publication, Questions and Answers on Working with Real Estate Agents, to assist with understanding agency. This brochure provides a thorough explanation of agency agreements, the duties of a real estate broker, and how compensation is paid to the broker. Watch Understanding Agency Part 3 to learn about buyer and seller agency.